Yes. The town is failed. And this, now let's start the meeting. How's that? You guys failed?
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order, so we'll start with roll call.
Poneto present.
Paul Miller present.
Kelly Potter present. Okay, so we have the minutes from March 25th where a correction was made to them. So, was it the 179, which was changed? And was there another change?
I think that was all.
Okay. So is everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay, I move that we approve the meeting minutes for March 25th, 2024.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Linda, were you in favor?
I said aye.
Okay. And we have the meeting minutes from May 13th, 2024. Were there any issues?
I didn't see any.
Okay, I'm going to move that we approve the meeting minutes for May 13th, 2024.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So for old business, we're still dealing with the roofing and siding status. The adjuster came out and said, yes, that we did have hail damage. The best that we can do is they will pay for 3 sides of the siding and for the roof. And they want us to try to match it, and then any damage on the front, they want them to patch in from good pieces on the sides. And that's all the insurance will do. So they have sent us a check that we still have. They said we can have it reissued if we want it to be made out to, if Wabash Valley does it, where it's payable to both the town and Wabash, so they both sign it, so the money does not have to be deposited into the town's money and then a check written.
Did the insurance check, was it equivalent to the estimate?
How much was the check?
I'm not sure, but I can go get that.
Yeah, I just there's 26 holes total, maybe more than that, in sightings. And it is possible to take some good siding and fix the front.
Right, and it's
it would
just
be a good
an
idea.
issue of matching it.
Yeah. The issue is matching it, because this siding here is what, already 20 years old? Has it been that long? But yeah, that's something that they'd have to fight with insurance over if that happens.
Well, I mean, that's what the adjuster has said.
Yeah.
That's all they're giving us. So I guess our other option would be to pay the difference.
Yeah. And the front,
I don't know if
the
that's-
front of this wouldn't have cost that much for siding. You know.
Well, if there's good on the back, it's already probably big into the same as this.
Yeah.
So take that off and whatever.
But it's the issue of them paying for the 3 sides. Will that match? You see what I'm saying? They're only paying for 3 sides of new siding.
Yeah, but who is going to notice a little bit here on the front is off a little bit from the other 3 sides.
But the 3 sides could not match, could possibly not match the front at all.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's pretty.
It would probably be slight difference. And you're not going to see all 4 sides at the same time anyway.
Yeah.
So the check that they wrote was for $7,436.
And that's supposed to cover the siding and the roof?
That's the only check that we received.
Yeah, see now.
That's a partial payment.
I was going to say, because the way the insurance companies do, they actually write a check like that. It's get them started.
Right, and so then we would get the remaining, which I'm not sure what that is. They'd sent an email, hadn't they, at some point?
Now, Wabash Valley, he won't contact your insurance company. So we might need to tell, was his name Ben Swartz or Ben whatever?
Ben Torrance.
that we might need to tell him he needs to contact our insurance company. And then they battle it out. We're talking
He's
about
already
it,
been
Russ.
in contact with them, and that's the best that they could reach.
Because I started out with $7,700 some dollars. And then what he did, he actually got me all the way up to $53,000. You know, because he kept saying no, because he told the adjuster, you missed this, you missed this. So they added more and more and more to it each time.
Well, Ben was here when Ben Holloway, the adjuster, was here. They were working on my roof. So he came over and they worked together, and they've been in contact since.
Will he do it for that, $7,000?
That's only part of the
partial
payment. Yeah, so whatever the amount that they quoted, the adjuster agreed with that. But it was just for 3 sides and for the roof.
Yeah, I would say if he can do 3 sides of the roof, and then this front can't cost more than a few $100s. I think we would probably be able to do that, or just see if it matches, just see how bad the siding really is. To me, it looks like it's pretty.
So do we
dry.
want to then? I mean, we've got a year, and they told us they'll reissue the check.
Okay.
Do we want to see what it would cost us to have the front side replaced and pay it out of, what fund would that come out of?
Unless there's rainy day, because we haven't really allocated money for repairs on the building at this, this year.
Would go into maintenance?
Could be if we have enough, but yeah, there's several areas I'm sure we could take it from.
So do you want me to just get a hold of Wabash Valley and ask them for an estimate for the front, and then we will decide next month what we're going to do?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Okay, so I talked to Ryan Studebaker about mowing, and he said it would be probably $100 to $150 per property, and to just let him know. But you sent out to Carrie, and they had somebody show up and do it.
So that's mowed now?
Yes, but not very well. So I think we probably need to email her again and say that they really did not do a very good job.
Yeah.
And get them back, would be my guess.
So when they do that, I didn't even pay attention. I seen, when was it?
Last week,
Okay.
week ago, or last Tuesday.
Yeah, because you were coming through. Yeah, but it looked like they didn't even finish. I guess there's a strip that's not even mowed. I mean, and Ryan told me if he came to do it, that it would look rough after the first time with as tall as it was, that there's only so much they can do, and then they have to come back and mow it again. But they, I guess, apparently just missed a strip. And John said when he went by and saw them that they looked like they were having quite the struggle to get through it.
Who'd they have mow it? Does anybody know?
I drove by and there was a guy out there with a bush hog. He looked like just some farmer type, I don't know. He was struggling though. He was having a hard time with it.
But it seems like they almost, whoever they hire should not only do that, but then come back through and do it with the regular mower. For it to look decent, because I mean.
It looks like a hayfield was hosed somewhere, mowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suggest get back a hold of her and, though it needs it again.
Okay.
Yeah, so were you able to make contact then with the people?
Okay.
You said that you talked to them.
The way that is, okay, now, I know that you always was talking back and forth to somebody bought it. What happened is the company that you gave me the number for, or somebody gave me the number for, they no longer own it. Okay, they never did own it because they didn't sign the papers for it either. So
That's who the tax bill will lead up to.
well, I called them and everything else, and I told them about the tax bill and everything else. They was going to investigate it. They said that they no longer handle that account because they own lots of houses, lots of properties, and this is not one of them.
Well, the auditors has them listed.
Yeah, well, they said that they was going to check into it, and I haven't heard nothing back to them because I gave them the auditor's number and everything else.
That's who had it. 4 years ago when we first started
Yeah.
in. And that's,
I don't think anybody's ever got anything back from them, or I think he's probably like the only person that's ever made
Well,
contact.
it's a dead piece of land. I mean, you know, it's,
yeah,
what
like
is
I
it?
said last
It's-
month, that company has no idea what that even is.
Yeah.
They don't even know what's on it.
What it was, it's a big organization, big company that goes around, buys property, and then they resell. So they jumped on this one here at one time when they had a different organization in cahoots with them, and now they don't.
So do they know who owns it then?
They have no clue. They're gonna go back and look through the records because she had no clue what I was talking about until she found, that she's.
So as far as then mowing it, what do we need to do?
I asked her about that also, and she says it's not theirs.
So
So-
do we mow it and
You know.
add it to the taxes, or wait
Well-
until somebody's tired looking at it and they go mow it?
Steve Murphy and Billy Ginger mows it. They have for 18 years.
Well, we can, because we can adopt the way Bluffton does it, and Bluffton does it that way. And you know, especially in a situation like this, you just add it to their tax bill.
But whose taxes you gonna add
But
it to?
you got-
They're telling you that.
Well, I know, I mean, this here is wrong. Well, at least she said it was wrong. She said she has no clue. And then said that they might be paying taxes on it, but they don't know what they're paying
No,
taxes
they're
on.
not paying taxes on it. That's why it's gonna be up for tax sale again.
Well, then what we need to do is let it get up to tax sale, and then this, yeah. And then, that's this year or next year, 25?
Yeah, I think in October it will.
Okay, this year, yeah.
Okay.
Before you go on, Larissa Vasquez, was that property mowed? Linda, the one beside you, did they mow the backyard then? Larissa Vasquez?
Yes, 3 of us moved the front and somebody else came in and moved the back.
They had hired somebody apparently to do the back.
They didn't hire him, it was it for me.
Okay, so it's been taken care of, all right.
So have they mowed since
I
then,
mowed the
or?
front of it again Saturday.
So that was the 3, right? Becky's old house,
No,
the
I
one
actually,
beside Linda's.
I know it's just the only 2 nuisance ordinance, Vasquez and
Okay.
Carrie.
Okay. So an update on the alley situation down at 80 East Washington.
Right, so what, let me go, you want to do?
You know more about what
Yeah,
was done today, I guess.
So what it was, Mr. Morgan actually did, I know it's been a long time, but it didn't get the tank moved. And I just heard today that you got the line pulled out of the alley.
I'm doing it to this evening, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Because what I think as a town, what we'd like to do is get the gravel in there as soon as possible.
And there's,
You know.
there's a tree in that alley as well, it's overhanging down.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. It's the tree that belongs to so Mr. Sorgen. I couldn't even think of your name. But what it is, it's and what we did find out that the tree, I think if I talk to you, you don't want the tree down, right? All right, so all you can do, I mean, you got the rights if you want to, on your property, cut it back that way. Then from there on, you gotta leave it.
Right.
You know, and then it's up
Anything
to,
overhanging the dwelling or the damage to the dwelling. Can
Exactly.
Bring back per the state.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's what we have to do.
now, you guys can talk together,
No.
you know, since it's his tree, or,
He'd have to fit the cost per state law, but I can get my attorney on that, no problem.
okay. All right, so you do got the right to cut it back to your property line. Okay, and as far as when was I there, a week ago?
Yeah.
All right, I think I asked you both not to park in the alley, because as of then, I even told you that as far as I was concerned, you know, but it's not up to me, we gotta wait until tonight's meeting, that the alley's open. Because you cleaned back your bushes, and Mr. Storage is gonna clean back his, or take it out or whatever else. I can come down and do it with a tractor. Oh, you got a tractor there, don't you?
I got one sitting on my property.
Okay. Now what I did on Saturday, is I got a call from both of you guys about parking. And I said something to you, you know, and I didn't have a problem with you unloading anything. You know, if you got stuff there working on your roof or something like that, unload. You know, or if you got to, you know, if you're unloading something, I mean, it's just what's going to happen. People's going to park in people's alleys or whatever else, you know. And I think I told both you guys too. Since it is open, where it will be open with gravel and stuff like that, you know, it's open to the public. Now, again, I wouldn't like people to drive that close to my house just up and down for the heck of it, you know. So that's up to you guys, what you guys do, you know, about.
Well,
that.
I remember 4 years ago when we started the cleanup in town, Kelly and John Potter had a dumpster in this alley right here, tearing down that little building. So if you're doing construction, I don't see any problem.
And that's what the deal was. There was construction going on. We had nowhere else to park.
Right.
Literally.
And you gotta have it there more than 15
Yeah,
minutes.
so it was ridiculous at that point. So when you're upgrading your house, I mean, you gotta park.
Right.
Yep.
And you got that right too, you know. I mean, anybody that's in the alleyway. But the main thing is,
People's banded in the alley though. I was with them. I was right there working. It's way different than leaving a vehicle over 24 hours in the alley.
Yeah, but we do have an ordinance that anytime besides that, you cannot block an alley
No,
for more
that's
than
fine.
15
I
minutes.
understand that.
I mean,
That's the
moving
reason why I got the
forward,
propane tank. That's the reason why I got the tank.
moving forward, unless you're doing something, and like she pointed out, I mean, there are times when we had the dumpster sitting out there, it was incredibly wet, that was really the only place we could put it, and they understood it. So, I mean, for the most part, as long as there's communication going on, we get it. But to park in the alley and leave your vehicle there overnight, it needs to stop.
and I
I've had it since my property's been marked. I know where my property's at. I've not been parked in the alley, so I don't plan to be.
I did drive down the alley behind both their properties, and it's getting pretty well grown up.
No,
Mr. Morgan,
it's all down now.
okay, I haven't go back, but he told me he's going to take care of what's on his side of the property.
Which tree brush and stuff like that.
Yeah, the overhang and stuff like that. So that's taken care
It's
of.
all trimmed back where it won't scratch on those vehicles going down.
Okay,
there.
well, thank you.
Yeah,
That's good
deal.
deal.
This weekend.
That's great.
And he wanted to do it himself because, I mean, we don't know, you know, it's like the railroad. When they go down through and cut shit, they make a mess of stuff, you know. But we would have had, well, I mean, we do got a decent guy to do that, you know, or we do it ourselves. But it's good that you did it.
Yeah.
Dwayne, your place does look nice with your new roof.
Thank you. Yeah.
And as far as you go, as far as Mr. Torsion goes, I'm more than happy to come down and help with the bush if you want, you know, and stuff like that. And then what we did, I did go down there and measure it from the post, the telephone pole or this electric pole that they put in. From that one there over to there is 12 foot. And from the front, now again, I think you guys said you're going to get yours surveyed also, or if needed. I mean, it's pretty near right on the money. I mean, I can't tell for sure because I wasn't there, you know, with all the survey stakes and stuff like that. But the stakes, if you go from this stake to where we know these good to here, it's right at 150. You know, so I'd save my money. You know, I mean, you can do what you want. But and the only thing right now is actually obstructing the alley is the bush. And then I think we can go in there and scrape it and go ahead and put gravel in it as soon as possible.
Part of the trees in the alley as well. That's obstructing the alley.
Yeah, that
My
big tree.
property was obstructing the alley by 3 inches. The tree's obstructing the alley by 4 inches. We gotta do something.
Well, the propane tank, I thought your propane tank was strictly in the alley, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was 3 inches in the alley. But what I'm saying is we're obstructing the alley with the tree, but we're gonna have some.
Well, then we're gonna have to go all around town, and then there's going to be some really unhappy people.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that. We're just, that tree,
No, I mean, there are a lot of trees, back here, the tree is on town property from that back lot, and the alley goes like this to go around it. So
Exactly.
there are a lot of trees, and
There's a lot of propane tanks in alleys too now, Tim. I mean, if you get technical about it, I can show you. You got plenty of pictures.
you did tell me, but I didn't go down
I
and
mean,
get it.
so if we're
Tell me where that is
have
again.
somebody move the propane tank, Evelyn needs to move the propane tank.
If it's in the
We're
alleyway,
not gonna make one alley right.
yeah, if it's in the alleyway, I agree.
Me, because my propane tank's in the alley. That's not how this is gonna go. I mean, legally.
well, you're not the first to be asked to trim something back. And
Oh, no, I don't have a problem with trimming anything back. That's where you're mistaking me. I take very well care of my property. I want to be able to trim what's mine and legally what is mine and maintain legally what is mine. I'm asking the city to maintain legally what is theirs.
Where's that
I'm
money
asking my
at?
neighbor to maintain legally what is his. That's all legal. That's not asking for too much. And
No.
I mean, would anybody agree with me?
No, I agree with you, and I'm sure everybody feels the same way.
Okay.
You know, even the surgeons.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants to take care of, you know, all that.
Well, but there's also federal law where tanks have to be a certain
Yeah.
distance
Yeah.
from the property line, so that
Where
is
is
that everybody
valid.
survey?
Where was them tanks
Yeah.
at again? You told me.
Right back here. I'll get you legal status. I'll tell you where exactly
Okay.
at. Yep.
Yeah.
It's dead center of an alley, 2 tanks.
Yeah,
Go to the city map. It's in there.
yeah. Is that
Where
right
at
there?
exactly?
I don't know exactly. I'll get the exact where it's at.
Well,
Or
you said
Paul
back
can,
here,
yeah.
and I'm
Well,
back
Paul,
here,
I kind of
so
explained Paul where it
that's-
was. So I mean, I don't know exactly where it's at. So
Yeah, and I'll drive around. I ended up getting a call or something when I left it.
Well, and Apache did say that there were several that were close to property lines. They didn't say anything about in the alley, but close to property lines.
So whose bush needs to be trimmed yet before we can do the alley grading? Is it in?
The surgeon's bush, but he's doing that. Well, yeah. And it's like I said, that's up to him, because it's on his property, whether just trim it back or pull it out. You know, you got a tractor, the root ball on it's not very big, you know.
Okay, so anything else on that then?
Well, let's just make it clear then, after that, well, actually, as of now, nobody can park in the alley. Everybody agrees with that, right? I mean, more than 15 minutes, unless you're doing construction, you know, and your construction's done now?
for the most part right now. We've got
Okay.
another building that's later on.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
And I'll communicate with the city on that and let them know, because I'll have a permit, of course, it's a large building, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else?
You guys,
Okay, so the next is the update on the financial solutions group that was working on our stuff. We included the email for each of you guys saying what had been done. I actually found out on Tuesday morning at 8:15 that I did not have to report to Indianapolis that day. I mean, so
so
they
you
were...
joined Indianapolis?
No, I didn't have to.
Oh, I thought, yeah.
And they were going to make me go. So what we did was, we were not quite done with the year-end report and things that needed to be finished. Because the Bank of New York is one of the things that was in the corrective action plan from the last audit, where the Bank of New York has to be reconciled monthly and uploaded. So what we ended up doing was submitting the AFR, because we all knew that you can do that and then you can unsubmit it and make corrections, so long as the corrections are done by October, because then that ruins the chance, or that will make the chance of them denying our budget for next year if it was not done by October. So we submitted it, it was not completely done, they saw that it was there, and so then it has been unsubmitted, all the corrections were made, everything, they went back and was it 2 years on the year-end reports. So now at this point, the gateway matches our fund balances in the software, and we are completely good to go.
Good.
I didn't make a copy for the others, did you make one?
Oh, I thought you gave
No,
them a copy.
I thought maybe you wanted to read that, just to summarize.
Well, she about explained it. I mean, you know, it's maintain as.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a fun
they
report.
went in and made the final corrections for 22 and 23 in Gateway. It was all resubmitted. Dean also helped with the Fry software. He's the software support guy. So Bank of New York account is now added to our software, so it can be reconciled each month. And that has been done complete up to date. And that was about it, other than what I mentioned. So that is all complete, and that is a relief.
That's good.
Yes, it'd be very.
Something we don't got to worry about.
So pretty much everything is pop up.
Where's the popsicles?
I eat it.
So then, the storm drains, were you able to get hold of the people that you said you had the business cards for?
Yeah, and they will come out and get it. I gave them Luann's number to actually make an appointment to come out here and go through. I said, you can also, and I gave them my number, told them to call me. And we actually walk around and see it, and check them out.
Okay.
And it's part of L.A. Brown, like Tom was saying. And what happened is another guy that L.A. worked with is actually going off by himself. And I'll get his card. I should have brought it tonight.
What's his name?
I'll bring it down to you. I don't know.
Okay, so they're supposed to get in contact with us.
Yeah.
Is it a Reinhardt?
No. No. Now, again, too, somebody else, too, it's Minnick. He's trying to grow his business. I mean, he's got the big vac, he's got big pressures and stuff like that. So he's trying to get into the sewer system, drainage dish systems, stuff like that also. So I haven't talked to him yet because he called me a couple months ago and was telling me all this stuff. And I told him I'd keep you in mind. So I'd like to talk to him also.
Well,
and
that
see
might
what
be
he's
something
got.
though we want to get moving on,
Yeah.
because it will be drier with it being summer and.
Because right now, I went around, most of them, well, all the ones I looked at is pretty clean.
Well, I'm talking about down here where Kelly said they have flooding when it rains. And then also the one that has sunk down in front of
Travis
Smeltzer's.
Okay.
So that's what we're needing the repairs on.
Now, I'll have to go around and look at that too. Did it actually sink under the ground? Is it under the ground now? The top? Or did the whole ground sink and all? At Smeltzer's.
It's all sunken around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got some of these.
Beyond the cleaning, I mean, that's what we need to get on and get somebody out looking, because Steve said that he thought maybe something got crushed when.
Possibly the back alley.
Yeah.
Could have been, yeah. All right, so
The one you're talking about there, sponsor or whatever, that one and the one over at Carolyn's, those were new because they dug across the street, and those two were new not too many years ago. Probably.
I'll get a hold of him again tomorrow and ask him to, let's make this happen pretty quick.
Yeah,
And I'll
so
go ahead.
Travis's though is draining, right? It's just that everything's coming down in it and it's below where it should be, where it's sunk down like the one out here, I'm assuming. So yeah, we need to get on that. And I'm assuming that's not something we have to vote on, correct? I mean, since it's maintenance, it has to be done.
Yeah.
Well, I think you get a couple of estimates, and then if we're going to spend money, we do have to.
Then we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to have more than one estimate.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll get Minnie Candace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're both right here pretty local, so
Okay.
that's why I figured he had to get a hold of you, but he had to.
Yeah, so it probably would be a good idea though, to try to get moving on that.
I'll call him again tomorrow.
Okay, so you did give them copies of the opioid.
The opioid,
right?
yes.
Okay. So the opioid settlement, we get money, and just like last year, you guys voted to donate it to the speakers, the two guys that were talking about sobriety. Right now, we have $187.13 that we have to distribute, and it does say in the email. I did go look at the website where it talks about where you can place the money in your community. A couple ideas. Family Centered Services has some type of a recovery drug program that they run there, and I'm not sure who does it. There's one of the Narcon boxes behind the thrift store in Bluffton, the family thrift that's ran by, they've got like 3 or 4 businesses that run the woman's home and a couple other places, some houses. So we kind of need to decide where we might want to donate that money, and it has to be for any type of drug program.
I'm good with anything. So I mean, you guys would know more about, who to donate it to than I would. Whether you donate it to a homeless shelter, a drug shelter, or whatever.
Well, I thought it'd be best to just make it open for discussion, because last time it was kind of
Is there
We've got
anything
it.
local that anybody knows? I mean,
Well, Family Centered Services in Bluffton,
Okay.
they have a recovery program. I could talk to Paige Hamilton and ask about that. But I don't know if that box behind that thrift store, if that's the one I read about in the paper where it was Twyla who'd worked at Hardee's. Do you know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. She's a really nice lady.
She was involved in that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly who runs that box, but we could make the $187 donation
Yeah.
to buy, and they could put it in there, and then it's
Yeah.
Narcan free for whoever wants it.
I would say just,
Yeah, I told them just recently how many Narcan patches they had gave out in the last year, and it was quite a few. So I think that would be a good place to put the money.
Do you know her? Is her last name Gerber? Do you know?
Twyla Gerber. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I
That
think-
is her last name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can see if I can get a hold of her and find out. I mean, and the money has to go to a specific place, so I just have to make
Does our fire
sure.
department have first responders? Wouldn't they need Narcan or that stuff too?
Do they purchase it, or how does
I
that
don't know,
work?
I'm just asking a
Well,
question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably even a better idea.
Well, call them and see.
Do we have a deadline on when that has to be done?
I don't think, probably this year.
Well, then I'll make the phone call first to the fire department, because that is a good idea. I would not have thought of the first responders.
Yeah, $187, and that's not gonna buy a whole lot, but it's,
Well, I don't know how much it costs, but any little bit, I mean, because you hear stories all the time where they show up and they only had 1 or 2 doses on them, and the person was not saved.
Sometimes it
because
takes,
they-
yeah.
Yeah, because it takes more,
Those Narcan kits are expensive.
are they?
Yeah, because I work at CVS in the pharmacy, and they are pretty expensive, so.
well, just tell us the truth.
Do
You had to
they
be
get
shallow,
a
you
discount
Go
on
up
it
there
though
and get them
with,
free.
I don't know, I mean, a lot of people comes in and their insurance is paid for, you know, so, but if your insurance don't pay for it, then they are pretty costly. So I can't say right offhand what they are, but I do know they are pretty costly.
well,
If
then,
you don't have insurance to cover them.
okay, then maybe I'll just research that, and if it looks like our 187's not going to help,
Well,
That
I mean, they're not
direction.
that costly, I mean, I'm just guessing, I'm saying $40, $50 a kit,
okay.
you know, without insurance. I'm just guessing, but, so, I mean, that $187 would buy a few kits,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, well, I'll start with the fire department though, because that's probably the best idea with it being local.
I don't have comments, Sandra Nicely, maybe her comment, she had her hand up. Maybe not.
Did you have something to say? Was your hand up?
No, I was getting.
No, we figured it out.
We're good. We're back here showing the spiders. It's all
There's one other thing that was not added to the agenda, so I would like to make a motion that we discuss street repairs.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I guess every so often they come out and Brooks Construction, is that the name?
Yep.
They come out and just look at the streets to make sure that we don't have cracks or places where water's getting in. And it kind of sounds like maybe we're overdue for having that done. I mean, it does get costly if water gets down and
Yeah.
erodes and causes more of an issue.
Well, we gotta keep up on it, because if it gets so bad, then you gotta rip it apart and redo it. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's maintenance and it's preventative maintenance. Okay, so do you want to call them or?
Yeah, just to have them come and check.
Yeah, just to look to see if we have anything that needs repaired to keep it from getting worse. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we call Brooks Construction and have them come out and look at the streets to see if there's anything that needs repaired.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0 or 2-1?
3. Oh, it's 3, yeah.
2 doses of Narcan is $50. Just for
Okay.
I looked it up.
I was gonna say, I was just guessing.
1 box has 2 doses.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and one other thing I had that, just as a heads up, by, I think, June of 2025, we will be required by law to video record all meetings. And if we don't have streaming capacity, we have to upload it within a certain amount of time afterwards. So that's something I'm going to start looking into to see what our options as far as equipment, but all municipalities are going to be required to record and keep it for a certain amount of time, and it needs to be uploaded somewhere where it can be seen. It's going to be an Indiana code state law.
Yeah. Now, is that state law? Does that, is it over a certain population? Okay.
It's everybody.
It's going to be everybody. So the way, because Joe Talmer, the field rep from AIM, told me about it and sent me the email. It's probably that they're going to prefer you to stream it, but not necessary. It just has to be recorded and uploaded. So I think probably YouTube would be our best bet. But if you have a town website, they want you to put it on there. But if you don't have hosting, then YouTube, I think, and it said Facebook also. So that may be, though, where we talked about a cell phone for the town, for the clerk. I mean, that would be something we could stream from or record on. But it probably wouldn't be the cheaper way to go.
Well, this is audio and video?
Yes,
or
video.
And it's required, both of them? I mean, it's required...
Yeah, like, when you go on YouTube
Okay.
and watch the
Okay.
recordings of town meetings, it's going to be a requirement where we have to do it by next year. So it's just something to think about. It's a ways off, but we've got to do it.
A lot of people don't want their video on live stream.
Well, but it's going to be state law, so we have no choice. So, if anybody has anything else, then.
Yep, I got a few here. It's on new business. I did check the park out again, and I think it'd be a good idea while we got Brooks out here, have him give us an estimate maybe on resealing, because it's getting some pretty deep cracks in it.
You mean the tennis courts?
Yes. So I think that we need to get them the end of this week, next week's gonna be up in the 90s. All them cracks are gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then we're not gonna be able to fill them in.
Talking about the basketball court and the tennis court?
Yeah.
If they're gonna come out, can we take that tennis court? Nobody uses the tennis portion.
Yeah, they do.
Who plays tennis?
Yeah,
You do? I was gonna say turn it into a pickleball thing, but.
yeah, and there's people that use it for.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's getting bad, so I think we need to do that pretty quick. Get an estimate on it, and so I think on something like that, we need to make a motion.
Then you gotta.
Well, just to get an estimate.
Yeah,
we
that's a
don't,
good estimate.
Okay.
if they're coming out
You
anyway.
want 2 estimates or just 1?
Well, there's another guy,
Who else?
the guy's in Bluffton, the one that does it, most of them
Strike
around.
Right in Bluffton.
Who?
Strike Right, Chris Leiby. He does all the parking lots in Bluffton.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to get another one.
You said Chris Leiby?
Leiby.
Yeah. All right, so we got that. We talked about you guys, the alleyway and the bushes and the trees. All right, it's a cleanup day. I mean, I know we talked about it a few months ago, but I really feel there's a whole lot of people around here that would like to have a dumpster in here because they got a lot of shit they need to throw away.
Well, pick a date.
Well,
Because when
we
I
already made a
tried
motion
to-
to do that, right? So we don't need to make another motion.
No,
So all
we
gotta do is-
discussed it, and it was at the beginning of the
Here's
year when there
table.
was a lot of other things going on, and it conflicted with prom, and
Everything else,
I
yeah.
don't remember. So it kind of was the goal to set it for sometime
Well, then I'll make a motion to actually call somebody, say, get a dumpster in here for a cleanup day.
Well, when do the next sewer bills go out then? This
The
month?
25th of the month. I do know last time Tonger's was the cheapest, but the last time we did it, they would bring it in on Saturday morning and pick it up. They won't do that anymore. They won't do a weekend. They would bring it like on a Friday
And pick up
Monday.
That'd be all right. You know.
No excuse that way to not have your crap up here. You got to-
Well, and I think another good idea for that would be, we could talk to Marv and find out if he wants to scrap.
Yeah.
Because anybody bringing anything that can be scrapped doesn't have to go into the dumpster, and then that also gives us
Exactly,
more
yeah.
space for stuff. I think the scrapping idea, if anybody's willing
Yeah.
to take it, then that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
And that saves us room and we can get more in. I do know though, when the dumpster sat down there previously, when it came on a Friday evening, we had trouble with people coming in and dumping
From all
stuff.
over.
And setting things outside.
And
the
it was
dumpster below.
like a third of the way full by the next morning.
Well, we can kind of police that a little bit so that don't happen. But over the weekend,
And there's other places besides Tonner's.
Who else?
I saw one north of Lufton, a big sign, a small dumpster with a sign and a number on it. I can't tell you now who it is. It's out there by 400.
One in Bern, it's called Daily Dumpsters. Daily, D-A-I-L-E-Y.
hey, if you can, I'd post on there. You know, I'd be willing to help homeowners that can't do it. I'd be willing to help with the tractor and everything else to help
I
them
mean,
clean up
they're
their mess.
just starting up, the
You know,
daily
that way-
dumpsters, so I don't know what their prices are. But they've only been like in business for like a year or so, so, I mean, that
Hopefully
might be something to check out.
Get Larry's
too.
trash out of there.
You know, I don't know.
Did you know Larry's in the hospital?
Yeah.
Had surgery.
How important is it to pick up Saturday morning, Saturday night, or Friday, or Monday? I mean, what's the
Well,
priority?
most people works, so I would say most people's not going to clean until Saturday. You know, or throughout maybe Friday and Saturday. So I think that if we get a dumpster in here, we ought to keep it at least a couple days.
Okay, so you're okay with
When
doing
you-
Friday to Monday?
Yeah.
Because like I said, that was an issue before. So then we'll probably want to get as large a one as we can, correct?
A lot of trash in town.
Yeah, and I see nothing wrong with even, people volunteering if somebody has something that
Yeah.
they have no way of getting it to wherever we have the dumpster. That would be fantastic.
Idea on
Hey,
the
you know what? I got a couple
date.
trailers. I mean, pull them around with a tractor. Like, hey,
Well,
let's throw it
okay,
on
so
and get John. Let's go.
the sewer bills go out the end of this month.
You just got volunteered.
We probably will have to wait till July service, really, because we would have to get approval on this at our next meeting, which
Well,
is.
I think we have to go ahead and approve.
We can approve it tonight, right? We
I
can vote on it
think
and approve it
so.
tonight.
Okay.
But we need to come up with a date.
Yeah.
So pick a date.
Well, it don't really matter to me because I'm free all the time on the weekends, unless I'm not riding. But today's the 8th, or I'm sorry, today's the 10th. So I think
We'll definitely want to go into July because.
you want to go in July?
Yeah.
Well,
This is-
we send it out with the sewer bill.
Okay. So you want to do the second weekend in July?
That'd be fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
it don't matter.
Which would be July 12th.
That's the 12th, 13th, 14th, and they pick it up on the 15th.
What are secondary dates in case that doesn't work?
Well, if it's
Following weekend.
Yep.
Okay, so the 19th to the 22nd.
everybody good with that? Second, third week of July? You know, give everybody,
And what do you want the note to say? I mean,
We
So-
can work on that.
yeah.
I said before, I got reamed over the coals for putting the wrong things.
Oh, I don't care what you put on, but just tell them that, you know, there's town, that we're offering our help if needed,
Okay.
you know.
Just put down cleanup day is July.
I mean, Larry's not gonna ask for help, but I'll just go down there and do it anyway. So
Okay.
I'll just bring a buttload at a time and dump it in.
Yeah, and I think we just put in the note that if you have something that needs to be moved and you don't have a way to get it there, reach out and, we've got a truck, Paul has a truck, and there's
Okay.
probably people willing to
I don't worry
volunteer.
about Larry is Reynolds.
Well, Reynolds we can't really do much about. Because Reynolds, we gotta send that into the area planning commissioner
And
because
it needs to be sent in, because that is bad.
it is bad. I went over and talked to him again on the weekend.
Bad,
The
bad.
yellow house going on.
So Reynolds, what he does, he's Ethan Reynolds. He's a good kid, but he gets paid to clean up people's property.
And he brings it all.
Then he brings it all over here and dumps it all on his property, right across the road from me. And he just bought this house last fall. So now there's a couch setting. Unless he moved, I guess. But
Well, and he started a mowing business too, I think.
yeah, he's got a cleanup business, a mowing business, and a snowplow business.
Well, would it be appropriate to send him a letter along
Yep.
with a copy of what the nuisance ordinance
Well,
says?
He's not in Poneto.
He's
he's not in
not in Poneto, so what we need to do on that, we need to get a hold of the area planning commissioner, and we need to get one of them guys to come out here and check it.
Are you volunteering to do that?
I'll call him, yeah. I'll call Ben Herman. Ben Herman come out. Like, hey, come out and check it out.
Yeah, he just lives over at Liberty.
Yeah. All right, so I'll call Ben. All right. Something else is the trash cans at Morgan's. Or, I'm sorry, Watson's.
Yes.
He's just after you.
Clean up your shit.
I got heavy shoulders.
But now again, they're not that bad right now, but you got two here and you got two here. And the trash guys couldn't even pick them up if they wanted to. They got to get out and move them to pick them up.
Well, they were sent a letter.
Yeah, I seen the letter they sent. But now but I noticed their letter is kind of asking nicely to move them off the road,
I don't want to cuss at him.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But-
What I'm wondering though, there was something in that 94 ordinance, and I didn't go back and read it before I gave the copy away. It says something about public streets and people can't do something or leave things.
Exactly.
And I'm wondering
It
if
is
the
on there.
trash cans fall under
Any
that ordinance.
Anything that's not, if it's
Before page 6, I know that.
yeah. So this way here, put them in your driveway and let them pick them up on this street instead of,
Well, I did mention that in the letter.
yeah.
And,
You're just a lot nicer than me.
well,
I know. I'm just joking, but I know.
well, that's something I think that we had talked about too, that we probably, because I talked to my friend in Aussie and she said it states in their ordinance that they have to have their trash cans moved back within 24 hours
Yeah.
to pick up. So we probably will need to have our ordinance revised.
I'll go through it again too, because
Yeah, I mean, and my question is though.
There is one I've been-
Or else what? I mean,
Yeah.
because we don't seem to have a way to enforce.
yeah. Well, what happens after three times, then it's an habitual. After 3 times you send them an ordinance violation, and then it's habitual, and then Bluffton takes over.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way it works. The Bluffton, to area planning commissioner through their court system, through their lawyer system, and everything else. And it's just like the lawyer. They take over.
I don't remember what it was. It said something about streets though, and not blocking and public right-of-ways, and I don't remember.
All right, and there's I got one more. Cleanup day. Okay, which everybody knows the tree across from Diane. Catty corner from Linda, right there at,
Squirrel tree?
whatever it is, the dead tree.
The bad-
The one that broke off.
Yeah, the
Then-
squirrel tree, the one that almost killed me, yeah.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot more of that stuff breaking off. All right, now it is,
I said that. I've been missing.
okay, it is in our ordinance. It says fallen or dead trees, and that there's a dead tree. So I think we need to send Murphy,
It's not Murphy, is it? Is it? Oh,
That's
it's
Murphy's.
Steve Murphy's.
Yeah, that's Murphy's, yeah. And ask him if he'll cut it down, or, because it's going to come out on the road sooner or later. Or a lot of it is. Some of it already did.
Yeah, that was a pretty good.
And it's
size
gonna-
stone.
Well, it's a danger if the kids are riding their bikes or whatever going past something.
Boy, with the wind we had the last couple of days, it's crazy. I mean, it could have fell down and hurt anybody.
I told the president about it, and she told me to kiss her.
So do you want me to send a letter just informing him, or do you want a nuisance ordinance?
Well, it is a nuisance, but then again, I would just send him a letter to actually inform him that it's there.
Okay.
And that we'd like to see it down as soon as possible.
The whole tree?
Well, the whole tree's gonna fall, sooner or later, because it's dead, but at least what's hanging over the road, because it's so bad.
3 branches that are on.
Does anybody know his address or?
I'm sure Linda can get it.
It's 200.
Well, you're gonna have to get the physical address. We can get off Billy too. Billy's over here. I mean, they come in town every day, Steve and Billy.
Well, I don't usually see them every day.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
We'll get it.
All right.
Or Linda get it to you. Right?
Whatever anybody else don't want to do, Linda gets to do.
Okay, trash can sales, Morgan's, Sorgen's, tree cleanup day. I'm good. Now, you got anything?
No.
What about the issue that was tabled a while back about council members and have people write letters and have proof that they get a complaint?
Yeah, the policy on how we accept complaints, it was tabled. I still have a copy of it. That's something I'll work on, get back out, and we'll present it next month.
Oh, one more thing here too. Is anybody in here, and I'd tell me, but anybody in here has got actually problems with the sewer bill since January? That end up getting a lien or anything like that? Because we was messed up at the beginning of the year. And there is one house that told me, hey, I got a lien on my house, but I know we're caught up.
No, I set 9 liens out because no liens have been sent since the beginning of the year. And there are multiple people who never paid their sewer bill.
Okay. Well,
So,
one in
yeah,
particular, I
right.
won't say their name,
Well, you can talk to me about
saying they did, I just told them to take it up a Lou Ann. Take all your information.
What they can do is call me or talk to me about show
Yeah.
me their canceled checks.
Okay.
And that's not a problem.
Because at this point here, and you'd probably agree with me, some of this, which I understand why the liens are sent out, because that's what you do and that's what you're supposed to do. But if we don't have proof, but if somehow we got paid in the months that Brad was here and it didn't get owned correctly or whatever.
No, we got that all caught up.
Oh, is it?
We wouldn't have
Okay.
balanced if we
Right,
went
right.
from the
It was all caught up.
deposits to what was posted or not posted.
But anyway, anybody in here that's actually got liens or got a question, I'd get a hold of Lou Ann. And that way everybody can get it worked out.
Oh, we're gonna go.
And one other thing I forgot about, I got a call from Gephardt's about the no parking signs. And I was told that I am one of the old ladies on the council who has lived here forever and think I own the town. And
I've heard that before too.
yeah, that it was my idea to put the no parking signs up. It was
Wasn't
my
that before
idea.
you? That was.
That's what I told them, that I was not even
Well,
on
they
the
didn't
council.
tell you. I told them that. I don't really talk to
That's
them.
what they said, that you told them that
Oh,
it
Gephardt
was-
did.
Yeah, but they said also that all sorts of complaints have been filed against them, and I said, well, not that I'm aware
If they got a
of.
complaint, it's going to get it in the mail. They know how it works.
Right, and so then they said they feel like they've been targeted since they moved in. And I said, well, I've not seen any complaints other than the no parking. But they said they were told by previous council, when the signs went up, that guests could park in the road, but they could not. And I said, well, I don't think so.
No.
And so I told them to come to the meeting tonight. I mean, and they're not here. But
Well, I'll go over there when I leave here.
But yeah, so
I got a few things to tell
But
them.
they asked me, are you one of the old ladies on the council who have lived here forever and think you own the town? And I'm like, I've not been called old by anybody other than my children. So thank you.
You are old.
Well,
I'll
I'm
bring
the
that up,
youngest
too.
one sitting here, so.
It's
But yeah.
Zach and whatever his wife's name's mad at me, but I don't care.
Yeah, so I don't know, but they think that their guests can park in the street. And I told him, I said, just pull over and at least get one set of tires off the street.
Okay, when the sheriff was down, because when he left your guys' house, he came to my house Sunday morning. We walked over there because they was outside. And the sheriff also told him, because I told him right there, because I got issues with him also. And the sheriff told him right there that yes, anybody can call the cops if they want, and yes, we will come out and tow the vehicle. Because there is no signs. So this way here, you'll probably be getting another letter.
I'd like to clarify one thing too. At the last meeting, before the meeting started, I called Paul outside and I was told that a past board member got in contact and said that I called him out during the meeting and that was illegal. The meeting had not even started, so whoever got that rumor started is wrong.
I wouldn't even let that bother you. I mean, we didn't do nothing wrong. So
No, I know
wouldn't
we
even let
didn't,
that
but I'm
bother
just
you.
saying, you know,
Yeah.
it was before the meeting.
Well, you can also look up and see, though, you're not, I mean, open door law. I mean, so that's probably where that came from.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, people use their head. I mean, they need to ask before they're...
That is violating the open door law.
No,
So.
no. If you talk business, it's violating open door law.
Yeah,
If it's personal, it's not violating no open door law.
right.
Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think there were kind of insinuations about what it was about. So.
Well, how do you know that when it was before the meeting even started?
But anyway,
And
I mean, it's not a big deal. It was, that's,
brief minutes, so how would you know what we talked about? I don't think you would.
yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, we didn't break the law.
You may have an idea, but you certainly do not know.
All right, so I'll call Ben Herman. And also get a hold of the sewer guys. And let you know what's going on there.
okay. So if there's nothing else, open up the comments to the public and really try our best not to talk over one another during this portion because it is really hard. Kelly Rush mentioned it to me when she volunteered to do the minutes. When people are talking over each other, it's hard to tell who is saying what. So let's try to be better at not everybody talking at once. So does anybody have anything?
I do. Disabled vehicles in the city, it's junking up. It's getting bad. There's quite a few homes. It's got disabled unregistered vehicles. That's a city ordinance in the ordinance. That needs to be addressed. The town on one side looks pretty rough. I think the dumpster thing kind of cleared up burn piles, stuff of that nature be removed. But disabled vehicles, that's city ordinance. Definitely need to look into that and get some moved. It's jumping up people's property.
Didn't we have issues with
Appreciate
that before, that there's something not, because didn't Larry have vehicles down there and there was nothing we could do about it?
No, it moved. It's just...
Did he get rid of it?
We didn't do anything about it. It's the reason why it stayed there so long. But it's a Wells County ordinance. Like Joel's down here, like even Billy Ginger's. I mean, anything is considered junk if it's not titled. Period.
No, I'm on the area planning thing. It's got to be registered. And it's got to run.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a rust bucket if it's registered and he can start it, or you can start it.
Yeah, if it's registered, it's good.
No.
Right.
It can be registered and be a rusted out bucket with no engine in it. It's junk.
But it doesn't have to have a plate on it, is that?
It has to have a valid license plate, and it's got to be able to run. Now, you could go and say, yeah, it doesn't run right now because I'm replacing the engine, and the county's going to give you another 90 days to put an engine in it.
All we're really concerned about is when it's not titled. I mean, not plated, I mean, if it's not plated, it's junk. More or less, right?
Well, it's not running.
Not necessarily until you call somebody out. Why would I register a vehicle if I'm rebuilding it or something? Or why would I spend that money? I'm playing devil's advocate.
Anyway, Bluffton says it's junk. Through the area planning commission, Bluffton says it's junk if it's not registered. plated.
And they'll give them 30 days to get it plated.
So that's
Or
something
get it
we
moved.
probably need to take through the area planning commission because we don't really have that defined in our ordinance.
And that's what I thought,
It is
that there
defined.
was
It is
some
defined
issue.
ordinance.
Yeah.
About,
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Our,
it's in
our,
there.
the Wells County junk ordinance is our ordinance.
okay.
Because when I went to that meeting, they gave
Yeah.
that.
We were supposed to adopt that on top
But
of
the one
ours.
that Poneto
We can
specifically
make it,
has.
we can make our ordinance worse than there, we can't take away from it.
Okay.
We added theirs to ours.
And I think that was in one of our ordinances anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It
I
is.
think I gave that to you guys on that packet.
Stephen had to deal with it a long time ago, they walked in town, they had to have, the cars had to be with a license plate on it, the city of New property has to have it.
That was written in an ordinance, Kelly, or that was their ordinance?
I don't know, but Stephen, the town board did it.
I remember
It's-
that,
it's-
because didn't they come around and put like orange stickers on them
Yeah.
then after they
went
made the
around,
list?
I think,
Okay.
could be the police, I don't know who was with them, because it's been so many years ago, I just know that the town board went around, and, you know, they had to have.
Yeah.
So here's my question though, do we want to just go ahead and put that in the sewer bill first, that it will be enforced? And give everybody
I'll
a
give
heads
everybody a heads
up
up, yeah.
that
I'm in.
you need to remove the vehicles?
Well, you don't want it, it needs to be registered.
Well, I mean,
Or-
what we need, I was getting to that vehicles, we need to include what the ordinance says.
Be careful about going on somebody's property though. Town council.
Well, what you do, town council don't do it. I mean, you tell them get it registered, they don't get it registered, then you call the county sheriff out, and then county sheriff will run the tags if it's got any, if it don't, and then it is what it is. They call a record.
They won't call a record. It's gotta be, you can't just say, it's gotta be, if it's not writing, it didn't happen. So if I had a vehicle in my yard right now that wasn't ready, you guys want to get rid of it, promise it'd take you 180 days before I got rid of it.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
So the thought of, well, we're just gonna call a record.
Well, you can't do that. That was
But it's
just,
not gonna
okay,
happen.
that's
If it's
stupid.
not in writing, it didn't happen.
Okay, here in the ordinance that was adopted, 2020, it says, any junk automobiles, automobile parts, broken concrete or scrap metal is in our ordinance. You're in violation.
And what do you consider junk?
Well, somebody's junk is somebody else's treasure.
That's what
All we want to care about is,
Find in our ordinance.
all we care about is if it's tagged or not.
Well, and that was the issue with Larry, because he said he showed the lawyer the ordinance, and his lawyer said we could not enforce it. There was nothing we could do at that time. That's been several years ago that I remember coming to the meeting. But there was something not well
That was about
defined.
the swimming pool.
I thought it was that truck parked out there.
No, that was just recently.
Yeah, the truck got damaged by that tree falling.
Right, steep portions.
Yeah.
Go to the
No, it
airplane,
was-
the
it was
junk
about the
ordinance.
swimming pool.
They got airplanes listed.
Yes, if you have an airplane.
I just put in a sewer bill that they need to be tagged,
Yeah.
or they're considered junk.
Remove vehicles that are not registered or running. Okay.
And then also, one more thing, I've got one more thing as well, sidewalks. It's something we really need to look at. We've got some cracked up on people's property, kids going rollerblading, whatever, they don't want them in the street. Sidewalks are bad all over my place. That's city property there as well, past my property marker. That needs to be, it needs to be repaired. It needs to be redone up to the alley point, is what we pretty much agreed
Well,
on.
at some point, we are going to have to be ADA compliant with our sidewalks. And that can be done through a grant
Yeah, I
through
told
the
Mr.
state of
Morgan.
Indiana. However, we have to have the money budgeted.
Okay.
I can't apply for the grant because that was one reason I ran, because I wanted to try to get us grants.
Right.
I can't do anything until next year because the money has to be put in the budget. They won't even look at the application if we don't.
Okay, so we gonna come up with something, a plan until next year?
Well,
No.
we'll have 5 years through the state of
Right.
Indiana where we have to do a 5-year plan
Right.
to get sidewalks replaced.
Right, I understand.
Otherwise-
What I'm saying is there's something in the making to say, hey, we're gonna put this in the budget, or something? What are we looking for?
We do the budget this fall.
Right, I understand.
Actually, July, I don't know.
But has it even been discussed? And my question is, do we have a plan to discuss that, or y'all or whoever for the budget, for that to say, hey, we need to look at this? Is that a
Well,
plan?
we're already looking at it.
I brought it up.
What Kelly said already
Okay.
is that, like I told you at your house, that it is in the plan, and we're actually trying to get it through a grant.
Okay.
You know, we'll see how much we can get through a
Because
grant.
with the size of our town, we can get
I understand.
25.75.
Right,
So
right.
it only cost us 25.
Good.
But Uniondale has started doing their
So if the
5-year.
property owner wanted to do it, would the city be opposed to that?
No, the property owner can do it, and that's the way.
It's,
In
isn't
front of
there
my-
a
it's on
certain
city
amount?
Well,
There
the
was
pro-
debate whether the town paid a certain percentage of it, but it had to be, there's certain rules, I believe, that have to be followed where you have to get estimates
Yes,
and if you want the
Three,
town
yeah.
to
Yeah.
contribute. But I don't know that amount and I don't know if that's ever been figured out 100%.
50%.
Yeah, it's stated 50/50.
I'm not saying, because I didn't know it was 50/50. It never had been before, but that's what Becky and said, but when Steve was on there,
What was
it was never 50/50. It was, I don't know what the percentage.
I just know there's stipulations, you can't do it yourself, you have to have a contractor do
Contractor,
it.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
The town put the sidewalks in and turned
Yeah,
them
you
over
have
to
to do
the
ADA.
property owner, and they are supposed to take care of them. That's how the sidewalks were put in. When they first did it, they put them in, then they were turned over to the property owner, and the property owner is supposed to maintain the sidewalks. But now, if you,
Well, is there something we
Now,
can
the
go
main-
back and look
the
at
main-
that, or you don't know?
It's, I'll get you that too. I just read that today also. But I'll get you that too. It's the maintaining them. It is up to the property owner to maintain them. You know, I mean, all this stuff. But I did read also it's 50/50. You know,
yeah, it could
operating.
be, I don't know, he
You
can
know,
remember on that part.
Or, but then again, that's more or less not at the homeowner's leisure. You know, it's because the town council's got to actually go through it too with the different adjustments on it and stuff like that. You know, you'll get a craze, you know, from I don't know how many different people on the price them to do it. You know, now if you want to do it, you got 21 foot there. I think we measured, right? It goes from there to the edge of the alley.
Right.
Because the rest of it's
Clean
pretty
it up to
decent.
make it look good out there. Yeah.
The rest of it's pretty decent.
I believe so, or it was NDOT.
I'm pro sidewalk, someplace they're gonna walk the dogs, so I can walk down the street.
Yeah, but I talked to the president at Uniondale, and she said, I'm surprised you guys haven't had to start doing that yet. And that was part of where they came through, if you look on 218, where the handicap accessible, wheelchair accessible, little spots are there. And I think this started in 2016, so I don't know if we've been notified in the past about it, but she said you guys are probably going to be asked to do a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
But I mean, the good news is though that the funding and the grants does go towards that.
And this way we can do them all, or a lot
Well,
of
it's a
them.
5-year
Yeah,
project.
Yeah,
exactly.
because I know mine ain't as bad as Near's half of them, I can tell you that. So tree roots and everything else, some leaves, I mean, it's horrible.
There's sidewalks that go down 218, you can't see them, but they're there.
Yeah, I mean, there just has, the past 6 months, there's been a lot going on that has required my attention elsewhere with the clerk situation. So, yeah, I mean, but I have found out 100% that we can't act on the grants until we have funding in the budget for it.
Understood.
So, I mean, even the park, we could potentially, you know, if we had $10,000, we could do a $40,000 project at the park.
Gotcha.
And it's because of our low population. It puts us at a really good advantage.
Okay.
We'll get it. It's just, it's going to take a while.
Does anybody have anything else?
Anybody besides John?
I want these lights fixed before I have a seizure.
Well, Tom replaced the bulbs, and obviously that was not the problem.
I've been wanting to change that since January, and I don't know what happened. We couldn't find the money or something.
But we can find the money.
Well, I know we could
If
find
you
the
want to
money.
fix that, we can find the
Well,
money.
we need to find, we need, yeah.
Why don't we put some LED ones in and save the town some money?
Hey, you know what? We can replace them $80 a piece. I meant they're freaking awesome bulbs, $87. They're going to look a lot better than this. They're going to be so bright that I mean, I think we ought to.
Well, do we want to make a motion about this? Well, they do need fixed.
Hey, I'll make a motion. We already did this once though, didn't we?
What?
To replace them. And so I'll make another
Well,
motion.
there's no motion made, not that I'm aware of, unless it happened when I went here.
Well, you probably wasn't here. But yeah, I'll make a motion to do some lighting in here.
I second.
And you will do that personally?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm a licensed electrician too, so
Okay,
I can do that. Don't want John to do it.
okay.
Okay, all in favor?
But
So
they'll
what
be
kind of-
covered in wire nuts and everything.
What kind of cost are you looking at?
Electricians don't.
Well, if we're gonna replace them all, we're looking 80 times 6.
$480.
All right, let's say under $500.
Give or take.
Council?
Yeah, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
And just remember that those need to be tax exempt wherever you
Yeah,
purchase
yeah,
them.
exactly.
And what's your goal to have that done by? Next meeting or?
Okay, yeah. It'll be done before next meeting.
Okay.
Johnny ain't doing nothing Saturday. And he can come on and hold the ladder and my wire nuts.
Yeah, I'll hold them, yeah, and I'll sweep up after you.
Yeah.
Electricians, freaking sparky. They don't even know what a broom is.
Uh-huh.
There's a guy on Facebook selling them cheaper than $80.
Do I know?
There's a guy on Facebook selling them cheaper than $80.
Not the good ones, he wasn't.
He said they were.
Huh?
He said they were.
Yeah, well,
On Facebook? Oh,
See how old trailer full.
yeah, we don't live that way.
And do you have the, oh, we have to sign?
Yes, I do. I forgot you, that was reading them.
Anybody else got anything?
I think we should allow little red dogs in the meeting.
Do it. I mean, nobody said you couldn't bring a dog in.
Okay, and this month's disbursements, we have $1,246.67 going to the Bank of New York. And we have office supplies from Walmart, $77.76. We have Menix grading work for the alley, $675.
That's our back.
Did we settle on across the street from me, on Ethan Reynolds? Are you gonna get a hold of the air painting commission then, or was you gonna send him a letter and ask him?
Somebody else.
You said you were going
Okay,
to call
all
him.
right, I'll call him then.
Okay, and we have the backup for our data for the software to Indiana Technical Installations for $198.
And the way I think about it, if he's making money hauling this stuff off, instead of bringing it to the edge of town and dropping it off and making a dump out here, you know, take it somewhere else.
We have $269, Lone Grove Hardware, Cardinal Air and Mechanical.
And I also believe that when we do our dumpsters, it's for residents only. Because he's a Reynolds, so he will want to bring all that over and dump it, because he's got bobcats and everything else, and dump it in there. So I'll make sure that he knows that he can.
We have $2,500 for Tom McElhaney.
That's the problem you're going to have if you have it more than one day.
Well, I'm also wondering, is there a way that we could put it out here?
I was gonna, would one of the churches let us put it, or maybe the church that put it out there? Because when we put the dumpster right here, people can see it from 218. We had to put it somewhere in the middle of town, maybe people won't see it as much.
Okay.
Hey, I'm good anywhere.
We have another one for
Your place.
Glen Grove Hardware,
You didn't do that.
$384 for the end of the month checks.
Put it right out there by your pond. Then if any left over, they can just throw it in the pond.
We have
Honestly, you can just go skinny dipping.
Indiana, Michigan Power
They'll be redoing it here. They're supposed to,
53444.
within a month, it's already been over a month. They're supposed to.
Kyle,
That was me. Okay.
and Caitlin Morgan.
I'll let my neighbors know that was my idea for the actually street signs. And I'll also let them know that you cannot park on the road. Yeah.
$600 for Tom McElhaney for mowing.
Is that several mows?
3. Or, no, it's 6. I was
6 mows?
Yeah, he gets paid $100 each time.
I was gonna say.
You go start mowing. The filing of 9 liens, $225. And a certified letter for the post office, $8.73.
You gotta sign that.
No, she had it in reverse. It's all the same.
And this was the payment for Luann's last 5 weeks before she was appointed, 2041.
Have a huge ass field involved.
Neither do I. We're sending ours into a wow. Bonfire. They're making a little. Am I gonna pack for you?
Yeah.
You can walk through here.
So I can take Jesse and we go walk through.
You can.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna move that we adjourn the meeting.
Hey, with Sorges and you guys, Morgan's, are we all good? We're gonna open
You know,
the
I'll be
alley.
in the alley this weekend, though. I've got to take a trench. I have to be in the alley for my trench, for my new line. But that's about it. After this weekend, I'll be there.
Okay, so what we're gonna do then, we're gonna get a hold of, we're gonna do Minix.
That's the graveyard alley.
Okay, so we'll let Minix know that, we need it graded.
And we're going all the way to 218,
No,
correct?
no.
Why not?
Yeah, that's emergency.
No, we're not going
access.
to 218.
You gotta do all the alley.
No, we're not.
I think that it
No.
needs to be opened all the way.
Meeting adjourns.
Yeah.
No, we haven't adjourned yet.
But I mean, that was part of my issue on the first part of this deal anyway, you know, I'll be quite honest with you. It's kind of discrimination at this point, okay? When you're targeting one alley, first it's a dispute between neighbors, and then now it's for emergency access, the sewer line. With that being said, we have plenty of lines that access that sewer line, many alleys in the town. We need emergency access, not to be discriminatory against.
It's never been emergency access.
Well, that's what was stated in the meeting, am I correct? Am I totally correct?
No, it's access
New
from the
England
town.
actually here, I mean, it's probably right
For
now.
utility.
It was stated in the meeting, and that's probably the reason why meetings need to be recorded. It was stated in the meeting because of emergency access. Yeah, it is. And I got, on my recording from when I was here on the last meeting, it was stated for emergency access. So at that point, it's discriminatory against property owners. You gotta be very careful the way you say it and the way you do things, because my attorney is on this. And I'll be quite honest, it is. It needs to go away to 218.
No,
We need to reevaluate the alleys and where the sewer lines are for emergency access. I'm just saying.
Yeah, your guys' alley wouldn't even be
I'm not
open.
arguing at this point.
But,
There's no
yeah.
argument on it. That's what I said.
I mean, we can get to our lawyer on it too, but emergency access, I don't know where that came from, but it is access for stuff.
Yeah,
No,
we're gonna-
it was said, the exact words in the meeting is that
Clear.
that alley is being activated due to emergency access for the sewer line that runs behind the alley. The alley
Well,
going that way. That was said. That's
my
all.
exact words to both you guys
I'm
was,
not arguing. It's not over dispute. Remember, it's over emergency access. Okay? No, now it's over dispute?
no, mine's always
Is it
been over
or
dispute.
is it over emergency access? That's what I'm asking.
Mine's always been over dispute. That's the only reason why we opened it.
Well,
I wasn't here.
I
when
understand,
that
but that's what I was asking. I mean, no one can give me a clear answer. The only thing we know is we got a board member stating that was said in the city council meeting, okay? It was for emergency access, okay? That's what was stated. So we need to reevaluate emergency access to all sewer lines. Am I right or wrong? Not to be
You are 100% correct.
Thank you.
I agree with you.
Well, and I agree it should be
Every single
all the way to
alley express, I
218.
was getting, I'm gonna back him 100%.
You can back all you want, it's not gonna
You're
happen.
gonna lose.
It is. It's ridiculous.
It's a little-
I mean, I'm making
No, we're not.
I'm moving my propane tank, I agree. It need to be moved. I agree, I abide by the law, by the city ordinances, okay? All I'm asking is I'm asking for one person to be done right, the whole city to be done right.
That's right.
And at this point, that is wrong and it's discriminatory and it's falsified in public documents. It is, it's falsified. Am I correct?
You know what,
Yes.
Elaine? I was on the board the past 4 years, and we picked and choose. And we got a new board that swore they were gonna do that, but it's happening again.
But I got a attorney on it, and I could prove that it's pick and choosing, and I could prove that it's discriminatory because I'm a new person in town. I could prove that, and I'm telling you, it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite the city.
I would say
We
your
need to
money.
reevaluate, that's all I'm asking.
I'd say your money, you're gonna lose a lot of money.
I
Your
stated
lawyer
the
is gonna
facts.
lose.
I stated the facts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree,
Yeah.
because my alley
You
did
really want to know
not,
what's driving up down your alley, don't you?
well, it is now,
Okay,
because
so
mine
there you go.
had not been gravelled all the way back, and it is now gravelled all the way back, and I have people that drive through
If the city-
constantly. And so that's why I think this alley should be gravelled all the way to 218. I don't understand halfway. If
No, I understand.
it's opened, if it's being opened up, it needs to be opened.
Well, you
from
guys
the
are talking
street to
every alley.
218.
Yes.
Yes, one for all.
If there's an alley in town that is not graded and gravelled right
And
now,
maintained by the
then
city.
you guys.
Then you need to sell it to the property owners, offer to
Not
sell it to the
very
property owners.
It's
at that
like he
point.
said, you can't
There's
go to a city that said, I'm gonna punish you
Yeah.
because I don't like what you did and not do it to the same
Hey,
everybody.
It's retaliation. It's retaliation,
It's-
at
it's-
its finest. It's,
You can't do it.
It's written in a book, it's a law, it's a state and federal law.
You can't
That's
make it
violating my
choose.
rights, it violates everyone in this city's rights.
John must went to Huntington, did he?
John
I'm just
grew up
joking.
in upstate New York, so.
You
But anyway.
cannot pick and choose what you would.
We didn't
It's
pick and
wrong,
choose.
and it's in
You
the
are.
recording, it's
You're
recorded.
picking this one, you need to pick them all.
Well, I mean, and that was part of the reason I think
Yeah.
that I know even Linda, that we had discussed because of the last 4 years, that you cannot pick and choose, and it was one
If
reason I
it's why you're on the
ran.
board, why
because
represent our town if you're a pick and
People
choose?
need to be
It wasn't, we
treated
didn't pick and
fairly.
choose. I didn't pick and choose
Somebody pick and choose.
because
You did.
because there was a dispute. I mean,
Okay,
it's
because
like-
there's a dispute. Okay, so now there's a dispute, so now we're gonna pick and choose.
That's-
Am I right or wrong? Does everyone agree with me? I'm sorry. That's right or wrong, Paul?
Now, wait a minute, wait a minute.
No.
It started out the very
Yes.
first time.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. I
Okay.
called it.
All right, so do
I
I.
called it.
Okay, we can discuss, but we are going to be civil and not
Oh,
swear.
yeah.
My first,
No,
my,
I'm just, no,
we're,
we
we're
don't need
cool.
to
We're all
swear
cool.
at each
Well,
other.
no, I didn't tell you that. So, I mean, he's representing the
Okay,
city.
and
I know.
I'm stopping it because
Right,
this is
I
not
understand.
how we're supposed to be.
But that's all I'm gonna
I
say
make a
about it.
motion
I don't
the
want to
next-
discuss
I
it.
make a motion the next meeting, this be brought onto the agenda. And in between now and the next meeting, all alleys that aren't open are counted and identified. So
And
that,
make sure they're clean and clear.
so that can be discussed on how it's going to proceed.
Well, I can tell you what,
I
you're gonna
agree.
make a lot of people pissed.
That's right.
I agree. I'm pissed.
Yeah, he's.
It's no different. I mean, you're picking and choosing again.
But
I was pissed when they took my alley. When this was out here, I maintained that for how many years? 15?
And if the city
Well,
would let the funds,
25.
the alleys, they ought to offer the property to the
if you
property.
guys remember right though, when I first came down there, I asked you guys just get along.
Right.
Because it'd be a
But
lot
it doesn't
better.
matter. It was over dispute. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what was said between here and there. It doesn't matter about that. What I'm saying is legally, you said at first, when you was down there, and it's on recording, the first time you come to my property, is that it was over a neighborly dispute. I don't care if I have a dispute with my neighbor. That's none of your business as
Yeah,
city
exactly.
council member.
But
Okay, that's between me and the sheriff's department. Then you're gonna say, oh, we're gonna open up this alley. We're gonna open up this alley due to it being emergency access to a main sewer.
you don't got me on the
line
recording
behind my
saying
house.
that.
I had never heard that
Yeah, you don't got me on
said,
record
so
saying
I
that.
must have
I've
missed
got
it
proof.
at some point.
Yeah.
Because I know that even if the alleys weren't gravelled, we were not supposed to block them in case utility, well, utility or emergency needed to get
That was
through.
the main excuse for opening up the alley between me and my neighbor's house it's due to emergency access to the sewer line running behind there. That's what was stated in this meeting at this county.
Oh, and that was before my time, if that
Well, you got
was.
minutes,
I
don't you?
remember hearing you say that.
Say what?
That it was
Yes.
gonna be for
We got two people.
No, you didn't hear me say
That's the point.
But you got it on recording?
I got it recorded.
We'll have to go back.
Yeah. I'm gonna say BS on that too.
Yeah.
It's over to dispute, because we didn't want to
I've
do
got it
it.
on video recording. I've got audio and video the time I was down here at the meeting. I've got today video and audio recording of the meeting.
Can you locate?
Yes, I can. Oh, I can upload anything, and I can show where nothing has been audited or deleted.
Yeah, we got it, we got it.
Okay? I can state all that. I can all the business, everything, because it's all public.
Yep.
Just be public records. That's
Anybody
right.
can record this meeting.
Yeah, that's the reason why our meetings need to be recorded. Now, I agree with that law, and that's the reason why.
Well, we record and we put it onto
Right.
the computer and we
That's
keep a
fine.
copy.
But that meeting, I got the date, the time, and everything, and it's on recording.
So if
That's
you have
stated.
that, you could probably access it faster than I could.
Okay, yeah, no, you're fine. I appreciate it. Yeah, I
No,
really
because
do.
they were using cassette tapes.
I mean,
previous
my
to
deal
this.
is I don't care who in the city or whatnot. I want to see a better city, a cleaner city, okay? Has nothing to do with me, my neighbor. That could be settled outside the city. That's not city business. The city shouldn't represent one neighbor, not the other, just like the letter I got, okay? That's not the city's priority at all, okay? What it is the city is one for all. If we're going to do something, we need a uniform.
That's why we opened that alley between you guys.
Right.
We opened it up to because it was dispute.
You're not getting it, Paul.
I'm
You're
getting
not getting it, you're not getting it, you're not correct.
Anyway.
You're not just
The way-
get what you're gonna do.
I want to say
Anyway,
this.
let's call a
Your
lawyer.
place looks
I want to
much
talk to him
better
too.
than your neighbor's place. It could stand to be cleaned up.
Yeah. Yeah, the city has no business with that. You cannot represent legally, you cannot represent someone, and this city has done that. And they write a letter from City Hall here to me. Okay? They have represented my neighbor on our dispute. Okay? That's against the law. Clearly.
Now, what happened?
Are you talking about the letter?
Yes, stating, he was representing the neighbor stating
No, I didn't state
or
that.
no, whoever, okay?
No.
The city stated that, hey, you need to remove your line off your neighbor's property. For one,
Because
you
it
know,
was-
it was my neighbor's property, it was never on my neighbor's
It was
property.
an alley, that's why.
Right, but it stated my neighbor's name and his property.
I'm sorry. I
That's
should-
one for all, okay? Let's be fair here. Okay?
Well,
Play that balance.
I'm gonna challenge you on that, because I'm on that area of planning. As soon as the town gets a complaint, they have an obligation to address that complaint. Now, them mentioning the name.
Right, but you can't represent it.
They're not, I don't think they represent it. I think they informed you that your property was on their property.
No, informing, okay, no, I'm just, right, you don't know the whole deal. It was represented when you state someone's name and you have to remove something, requesting for something to be removed off their property that you put on, never on the property, is representing them. Let's just get down to the T on that.
Well, that might have just been I don't know, poor wording or something. I don't know why that was put on there.
I was just saying, everybody pour letters.
No, poor
Well,
wording.
because I think it was stated that the line reportedly went across the alley, looped around, somehow
Which it
was
did
in
not
their
belong to
yard
the property.
is also, is what our understanding was. So that's why that was probably put in the letter, because that's
After
what
the
was
city had
said.
looked at maps, after the city said, oh, your property line's here, and then I got a registered survey and my property line ain't there.
That's exactly what I told you.
Or, I mean, and we agreed upon that, right? We
That's
agreed.
exactly what I told you it was.
We was agreed, we're being agreed that he was wrong with the property line was. The city shouldn't have to say that's our property line. If the cities were properly maintaining room and one for all, then we can say that's an alley between them homes. You can say that on my house.
It's gonna be an issue.
Every home that's got an alley on it.
I agree with you.
It's going to be a big issue.
So I have a question though. Like, you said something about opening up their alley and maybe going all the way to 218. Does that mean there's an alley that runs
Yes,
into
yes,
Charlie?
yes, ma'am.
Charlie's yard too?
Yeah, and
Yes, ma'am.
Charlie don't think there is, but there is.
Okay.
There's,
Well, that's-
I think on every block,
There's
there
so many
is
alleys.
One that,
essentially
I think there
an
was one
alley.
that was sold on the back of town, way back when, because town's been expanded, am I correct on that? Was an alley sold to a property owner?
At Knowles, where they live now, down here where
Some of
they
it's not
live,
actually the one.
Rita and Larry bought, it was like an alley that
Yes.
curved this way, and that was divided, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
sold
that's
to
no
Rita
longer, that's a piece
and
of,
Hartman.
you guys' property.
Right. That's what I'm saying, that the city had actually sold that alley. That wouldn't be an alley on the city map.
Yeah.
The city map should be updated now. Yeah, it's.
Which it is.
Other options the town has, if you don't wanna open them up, you gotta sell them.
Yep. You gotta give the
You have to
property
consider
owners
the
the right
cost
to
of the
buy.
town to open all those up. That's gonna be real costly.
But it's
Just talk to our
not
lawyer. We don't
to be opened up. My back door,
Just
my
talk to the
back
lawyer.
door is 48 inches from this alley. 48 inches. If I step out my back door and someone comes through that alley, okay, don't you think that's a liability?
Well, there's a
But
good
you're the same way,
possibility
right?
that somebody's gonna take off my utility room at
There
some
you go.
point. So, I mean, but there was nothing I could do about it.
See, now you can't build houses like that.
Right,
But
it doesn't
back
matter
then it
nowadays.
was.
What matters now
So
is
we're all
we're
grandfathered in.
one alley and not all alleys, and it's discriminatory, and it's not right, and it's unfair to the public, it's unfair to this town, it's unfair to me, and it's unfair for you to sit there and say that you did not quote that when you properly did, and you
Quote what?
stated that that was for emergency access to a sewer line, so if we're gonna.
Are you saying I said that?
You stated that in the meeting.
I say
that
you
for
bring me
emergency
documentation to prove
access-
that.
Excuse me, sir, I'm talking.
Yeah.
You stated in the meeting, public meeting, that there was emergency access for that sewer line, and there was plenty of alleys, including going all the way to 18, that would consider it be emergency access for a sewer line. That is what you stated, Paul.
Bring it in.
Until you can prove on the record to yourself, I'm sorry, but that is what you stated, and that is discriminatory.
You got your opinion, I got
No,
mine.
that ain't opinion, that's fact, sir.
I got back too.
I do too. It's recorded.
Prove it.
I will.
Do it. You know where I live, you know where I know where you live. Call me up, I'll come
And I
down.
would ask if you're going to lie to the city that you'd be removed from the board.
I'm not lying.
Yes.
Prove it first.
I will prove it, and I will be
Okay.
at the next meeting. I will ask if you're going to lie to the citizens of this town that you'd be removed from the board.
I told you that we didn't want it to open it up.
No, it ain't what you said. What you said is on record.
Okay, let's
Show
bring
it.
the volume down a little. Shut
I'm gonna go back to my original that I'm requesting verbally, which is my right.
Yes, sir.
That the next agenda, the next meeting, this is put on the agenda, and that the town documents all alleys, whether they're open or not, and what the town's plan is to get access to those alleys.
I agree.
That's what I'm requesting,
So
as
am I.
my right as a resident of the town, that this be put on the agenda and this be completed before the next meeting.
I request the same thing.
Would you like me to go do that too? Would you like me to go do that too?
Yeah.
It's not making you suffer for a while.
I'm sorry, I agree with the picking and choosing, and it is wrong, and in some ways, I give you credit for bringing it up, because it's hard for us to sit here, I mean, and we
You
can
can't put
say,
cameras on one another. I understand.
yeah, I mean, and it's hard for us to sit here and say, well, we need to do this because we want everybody to be treated fairly if we're not looking at it from the same angle that you are, but I agree. I mean, we're still residents, even though we're elected officials.
Exactly.
I'm still a resident, and I do understand what you're saying, because I was not happy when they opened it all the way up. We had half an alley, we were the ones who gravelled it, and so we had access, and it was open all the way down to Smith's.
I agree that y'all are citizens too. I agree that, hey, the junk across this house is ridiculous, okay? I agree with that.
But they don't.
I'll agree to disagree too. I mean, at the same point is we cannot pick and choose. That's
Well, I mean, and you have your right to sit here and say what you want to say, just as everybody else does, so.
Yeah. Yeah. If everybody fought, we'd open them all up. But nobody else is fighting.
Well, again, you would have to look at the expense, I mean, to open every alley in town. It's probably not in our budget for one thing.
Well, then you have to sell to the property owner, offer it for sale. The property owner is the right thing to do. If we're gonna maintain it or we groom it, you can divide it between property owners, there you go. The city don't have to.
We do got that right, yes, we do
So
got
the
that
city
right.
don't have, then the city won't have to maintain an alley. My neighbor could buy his half of the alley, I could buy my profit, just the property line, boom. Problem solved. City don't have to be in nothing. Plain and simple. I get an attorney to draw the paperwork.
Okay, if that's it, I'm going to move that this meeting is adjourned.
I thought you already did that.
We never voted, did we?
Oh, I didn't know.
No,
second
I've
it.
tried twice, and I don't think we ever
Yeah, but you
voted.
can, give me that, just so I think we got it too though,
But what?
the recordings. Oh, you're talking about at your house
Yeah, we
though.
do, but he
Oh, I've
said,
got a recording the city.
All in favor, aye.
and he said he probably can find it faster than I could.
I think it's a
Hey, Paul, Weren't you talking about somebody that was happy with their being
She's getting killed.
Yeah, the dumbasses that was calling her an old woman.
What did they tell you?
David, I'm a citizen.
That want to know if it's going to be response because they know that they're right.
Okay, well, then contact
I told them to
Show
contact
me
me.
their payment. I need to see their checks or whatever. But I know they haven't paid, so.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have bounced.
Well,
I mean, if.
Well, anyway.